Well, good morning. We are glad that you joined us, and we are here talking about holiday scams. We're actually going to do the 12 scams Christmas. And my name is Jason. I'm with the Better Business Bureau. The name of our Better Business Bureau is actually the Better Business Bureau Serving the Fall Line Corridor. Now, we came up with that name because we have offices in Augusta, Macon, and Columbus, and that was known as the Fall Line. And we actually serve over 77 counties, over 47,000 businesses, and over 2.5 million consumers. And it seems like we're always doing something. There's always something going on, and we cannot do it by ourselves because we have some wonderful friends. And one of our friends is, it's Mr. Sean Conroy. And Mr. Sean, will you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Hey, thank you, Jason. And we appreciate the Better Business Bureau inviting us to this holiday scam webinar. And Jason said it, in consumer protection, it takes a number of players to working together to help stop scams and protect consumers. And so at the Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division, we're the state level consumer protection law enforcement organization, and we enforce a number of consumer protection laws, including the Fair Business Practices Act. We have counselors available for consumers to contact Monday through Friday. And we, on our website at consumer.ga.gov, you can learn more about us as well. Our phone number, and we'll probably give this out again later in the program, is 404-651-8600. So what we try to do at our office is investigate complaints when they're in the public interest. We don't represent individual, and we get about 18 to 20,000 complaints a year. We have a staff of about 45 people, investigators, lawyers, counselors that again talk to consumers. So we also place consumer information on our website. We have a program called Ask Consumer Ed where we answer consumer questions twice a month from real consumers, and so that's our organization in a nutshell. And I'll pass it back to you, Jason.
Well, it's always funny to me when people say, what do you do at the Better Business Bureau? And I always say, well, a lot. And because the Better Business Bureau tends to act like a funnel or an intake, and we get it. And what we do is, with these great friends like Sean at the Attorney General's, Consumer Protection Division, we're able to say, hey, it needs a greater look. It needs a state level investigation. And so we're able to push it up to him. But then when we need to go, more with a federal level, then we call our friend Anna. And Anna's always been a great friend to our Better Business Bureau. And so would you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Sure, Jason. And just to echo Sean, we always appreciate partnering with the Better Business Bureau as well as the State Attorney General's office. We can't do our work without our great partners. And so we just appreciate being invited to be here today and to hear from everyone about what they're seeing in regards to scams, because the Federal Trade Commission's mission is to stop unfair or deceptive acts or practices in the marketplace. And that runs the gamut from anything from robocalls to frauds to some of the scams we're going to talk about today to nationwide false advertising. I do have to give a standard disclaimer before we begin that any views I express today are my own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Commission or any of the individual 5 commissioners. But I look forward to talking with everybody and getting some great information out there about how people can protect themselves from some of the scams we're going to be talking about today.
So with these different scams, we're calling it the 12 scams of Christmas. And I can promise you that a scammer is not your true love. So he's not going to be bringing you, 2 turtle doves. But what I can tell you is that the organizations that you would turn to for relief during scams or for help with scams or to, what we would prefer to be educated before you ever fall for a scam is the Better Business Bureau, the Attorney General's Office, the Consumer Protection Division, and the Federal Trade Commission. So what we're doing is we're bringing all three of them to you. This is the 11th day of Christmas scams. And as the country is opening back up, well, I want to get out of town, and there are a lot of good every single day. I'm getting advertisements on cruise ships, airplane tickets, hotels. Everything seems to be coming down, and there's scams all around this. You've heard us talk a lot about third-party sites. Well, what a third-party site is they use somebody else's name. I can speak to this one, like VRBO, and they're actually not a company that you would actually do business with if you did a lot of research on it. And so they use a third-party name. And the reason why I mentioned there's nothing, inherently wrong with VRBO, but I did business, and because it was VRBO, I gave credit to the company being more legit than what it was. And after I found out, which was too late because I lost money on this travel scam, it was a company out of Miami, Florida that had an F rating with the Better Business Bureau. Now, I want you to know how dumb is that the guy from the Better Business Bureau didn't ever stop to check the BBB website to find out if the company was bad or not. But that's how good these scams are, because they offer low introductory, you can cruise. All you have to do is pay port fees or docking fees, and all of a sudden your fees are more than what the cruise cost. Or come stay at Disney World for 18 days and pay $3. There's going to be a price for that. If you have trouble saying no, don't go to a timeshare presentation. Or, it could be just, with a rental property, the property might not be a rental property. How hard is it for me to go by somebody's house, snap a couple pictures, or take it off of a real estate website and say, hey, I've got this beautiful place. Send me money. You can stay with me. Now, have you guys seen anything with travel scams, Sean or Anna?
Jason, I think this goes back to if it's too good to be true, it probably isn't true, that we were talking about earlier. One of the things that we've seen and that you touched on are properties that are being offered for much lower than the actual going rate would be. So if a property would normally rent for $400 a night, and from seeing all of the other listings that that's generally what this type of property is going for in this location, and all of a sudden you come across something that's going for $78 a night, that is a red flag. There's some reason why this property is going for less, and so you need to do your homework to find out what that is, whether that property exists at all, whether you're sending your money to a legitimate source. And we see that with lots of things. It's not just with, rental listings. It's same thing for leasing apartments, et cetera. It's just another way that scammers are taking advantage of people either looking for a vacation after the long years that we've had during the pandemic, or looking for a new place to live. And they know what people are looking for, and they know what type of pictures people want to see. And oftentimes those pictures are real and the address is real, but they're not the owner of it. So just be mindful of that. Do your research. If you can, again, pay with a credit card so that you can get your money back, and make sure that you're protecting yourself and that you're telling other people how they can protect themselves as well.